Why is Walmart and Target and Home Depot issuing major warnings about our economy? Well, today we're going to talk about that and how it actually pertains to you as the consumer. And is it their fault, like the administration's blaming, or is it someone else's? Let's talk about it today.
What it's like to be circling among the clouds, because without you by my side, hey
guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell, give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of this video. When you give us a thumbs up, it tells YouTube that we are important and they share our message, and we ask that you share our message as well. We've been suppressed pretty good lately, so we need your help. So thank you so very much for giving us a thumbs up and sharing our content. Remember, our goal is to be sustainable, at the same time understanding how to have wisdom and common sense to raise our families in a chaotic world that we live in. Now let's jump into today's topic. Walmart and Target unleash price cuts to help the working poor because they've hit a brick wall. It says some of the nation's largest retailers are rolling back prices in response to low-income consumers hitting a proverbial brick wall. These consumers have maxed out their credit cards and have drained their personal savings. Now, I want to think just for a second. There's usually anywhere from 30 to 100,000 people on average watch this. Of the people watching this, ask yourself, have you went down in your savings? Have you spent more on your credit cards lately? Have you realized the fact that things cost so much? Now, they're not saying inflation is down. There's a difference there. The administration will say, oh, the inflation is down. It's actually not. They're saying we're willing to make less profit because now we see that people can't even buy the goods that we have. They're going to different shops. They're trying to get by instead of buying the things that were traditionally bought. So Walmart says, I'm going to roll back 7,000 things that commonly are bought. Target said they're going to roll back another 5,000 things after rolling back 1,500 things to lower those prices for consumers. This is a big deal, not because we're saying, oh, wow, it saves us money. Now the consumers are getting benefited. Actually, the consumers are still getting ripped off, because the problem was not with Walmart or Target. Now, Biden came out last week and said, the problem is the consumer is having to buy from these grocery stores and these big box stores that are charging way too much. They're the bad guys. Well, in a capitalist society, they're going to make money. I have no problem with that. But every one of these businesses said, listen, we're here to make money. But at the same time, we have to make money. The only way that we survive in a capitalist society is that people buy our goods. Well, if people can't afford our goods, nobody's buying it, and therefore no one makes money and no one has goods. There are no availability for the government to turn around and become the next Walmart or Home Depot. So we need these businesses to thrive. The small mom and pops all the way to the big box stores. They're saying in this economy with the government spending like they have, inflation is crazy up. Tariffs, of course, which don't get me wrong, I think everything should be made here in America. But the bottom line is a lot of our goods are coming from overseas. The supply and demand is costing these businesses more. So therefore, instead of going up on their prices like they should, now they're going to have to go down to compensate and try to help out the people who have no money. Here's another thing. Shocking. Walmart said what they've realized is the clientele that they started not being able to get, the higher upper end clientele, the richer of our areas, the richer that typically went to different grocery stores in different markets, they're saying now they're having to shop at Walmart. He said, now we're wanting them to shop here. He said, and we're going to try to, of course, accommodate for them as well. He said, but the problem is they're not used to shopping at Walmart. They're used to shopping at these other stores, but because the economy is so bad, it's affecting the higher class, the middle class that typically shops with us, and he said the lower income that now can't even shop with us. He said there's going to be more implications even with us lowering the price, because while we're lowering price, the government is not stopping its actions of spending money and printing more money, which will cause for more inflation. One CEO said food inflation is crushing the working poor as Democrats are begging the president to lower prices of executive fiat. Even Democrats in these towns, they're getting the heat from their local constituents. Now, we're not talking about Washington Democrats. We're talking about these local officials who are seeing their store shut down, who are seeing their people cannot afford their own bills. And so now you're seeing even the Democrats on these local levels are saying, please, you've got to quit doing this. You saw this with the migrant situation too, where there's not enough food and not enough goods For the people there, the people of America can't afford it, and then all of a sudden the government is going in and buying and getting a lot of those goods to give to people that are not even Americans. So this is really hurting the local lower income classes of a lot of our cities and heavy populated areas and states. Walmart's disclosure and Target's announcements of price reductions of everyday items with the food cuts, they're having to say we are not having enough food. We typically pay a lot more right now for food, but we're going to have to lower the price just so people can afford the goods and buy the goods, so then we can make money too. They both said, Walmart and Target both said, this is direct responses of consumers' fatigue of 3 years of high inflation. Remember, when inflation goes up, the reason government does not want to show you inflation is as high as it is, they start taking certain numbers that help build the CPI, the actual inflation numbers, to get the real number. Well, they started taking out certain things like rent. They'll take out utilities. They'll take out energy. The whole purpose is to keep that number looking low. Because remember, if inflation numbers go up really high, they have to raise Social Security. That's more money that the government has to pay out. So they tend to try to keep it low. Also, it's a bait and switch. It makes you think, oh, well, you know, I mean, it's only 8% more. It's only 7% more. It's only 5% more this year. But for the last 3 years, your groceries are up over 40%. Let's talk about fast food. You know, most people say, well, it's cheaper for me to eat out instead of cooking my own food, which I totally disagree with. But let's just go through the top restaurants, the top fast food joints that are not good for your health, but people bought because it was convenient, easy, and cheap. As of right now, this is for 3 years, over the last 3 years. Popeye's regular mashed potatoes up 134%. Taco Bell's beefy 5-layer burrito, 132%. Wendy's small frosty, 111%. Taco Bell chalupa, 110%. Burger King small icy, 101%. Taco Bell cheesy gordita wrap, look, I don't know any of this stuff because I don't eat these places, 100%. McDonald's McChicken, 199%. Now you say, oh, they're just being usurious. They're big companies and they can probably do what they want, especially if you're not growing your own food. You're definitely buying this stuff and it's not good for you. But why are they going up so much? It's not just because they're all sleazy, terrible people. It's because the economy that we have been put in. This kind of economy, when Democrats give you money, when they pay off these student loans, billions of dollars of student loans, when they print money, even Republicans, they print money and send to all these wars across the world, that right there, that causes so much more influx of money. The money is not worth nearly as much as it was. $1 now may be worth 30 cents now compared to the true inflation numbers. So like that, 100%. So now if you were buying something for $1, now you're buying it for $2. That doesn't seem like a lot. But say you buy 50 groceries and all of them are up $1 to $2. So instead of it being $150, you're looking at $420. Do you see how that works? It's the fact that everything has went up, and the common Americans, especially lower income, middle income, like most of us are, we can't afford it because our incomes haven't went up 20 and 30 and 40%. Right now we see an administration buying votes. They're paying for certain things to happen in certain people groups, but then also they're paying off student loans. Also, they're looking at versions of stimulus and subsidies. Why do you think they're doing that? Because they know if they give you the common dollar quickly, you will thank them by giving them a vote. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're causing the demise to our own dollar. We're only causing problems for ourselves. When we don't work for our money, and then all of a sudden, same way with the government takes our money, at the same time prints new money. Think about that now. They're taking your money, but they're printing new money, so therefore you're getting taxed by the government, and then you're getting secondly taxed by the inflation. So you're getting double taxed on your money, all because of what government is doing. So that's why Walmart and Target are saying, look, the consumers are struggling. We're losing business, not because we want to make a mint all the time. Yes, we're capitalists. Yes, we're going to make money. But we're seeing people can't even afford the daily goods, things to keep their families' food in their cabinet. That's crazy. Now, here's another thing. Last thing we're going to talk about. Home Depot came out with a major warning saying our wood, our home improvements, our paints, everything is not selling. We're, yes, selling some, yes, we're making money, but we have lost a big portion because we're seeing the economy is destroying the housing market, the rebuilding market, the re-improvement market. That's a big deal because what drives our economy? Consumers doing things, consumers buying things, debt-driven societies. Well, in a perfect world, that works. But in the kind of chaos that we're in with our economy, when people are not fixing up their homes and buying new homes, when people are not spending money at fast food because they can't afford it, when people are not going to buy goods and being able to provide for their families, and those businesses are struggling. We've seen a lot of business because of theft and thieving, and because of low numbers of sales, they're moving out of these cities. What's going to happen? What's going to happen when there's no Walmart or Walgreens? We hope mom and pops are going to be around, but that means we may not be able to get the things that we're wanting. Does that make online the biggest retailer? Sadly, that would be bad, because that means everything you buy will be surveilled because you have to use a credit card or digitized currency. All this is bad, and when we hear warnings from some of the biggest companies in America, we should heed it and say, how can we fix it? Well, with the political class we've got, I don't know if we're going to fix it, but I will say this. You have to get yourself on a budget as much as you can. Tighten it down. Understand what your wants and needs are. I have a video talking about how you cut your grocery bills in half. You need to go check that out. He goes from, making sure you're on a budget, make sure you're planning based on your nutrients that you're needing, planning on being as economic as possible, but eating holistically and healthy, and learning how to eat leftovers, learning how to grow as much food as you can, learning how to do co-ops and eat together and make big meals and bulk meals so it can last a lot longer than just one day. We don't waste food. We want to eat it again, and heat it up and eat it again. We have to start making those changes now, and that will help us be stronger. It helps us build a more humble but a stronger man and a stronger family, because you realize you've went through the tough times and now we're shooting towards the good times. America still has a lot of good days ahead of it, but it's going to take strong families doing good things and being wise with their money and being wise with what we've been given. My challenge for you today is take these warnings, heed these warnings, and say, you know what? This week, Sunday through Friday, I'm going to meal plan. I'm going to meal prep. I'm not going to go out and eat. I'm also going to make sure that I may not buy the beef fillet this time. I may buy the sirloin. I may buy the hamburger steaks, and we make hamburger steaks this time instead of making steaks. Instead of eating that chicken breast, we may start eating chicken thighs. That sounds like you're giving up so much, and you shouldn't have to. But in this economy, you're going to have to. And when you start making those changes, you'll start seeing, okay, there's a way for me to help my family, and we can get out of this. It will make you stronger. We need to heed these warnings and learn from them. And when we learn from them, not only is it making us humble, it's making us wiser. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video. God bless.
You can take me high.